Hello, this is Rory with a Love Chat, and today's topic is, what is my ex thinking during no contact? Now, this is video number 60. If you have a question you'd like for me to consider featuring on the channel, please write it in a comment below. And if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe and hit like. Now then, what is going through your ex's brain during no contact? This is something that we all want to know. This is probably one of the most tantalizing and frankly one of the most turbulent times for you and your ex. And so we'll set the scene here. You have just broken up with your ex, the relationship is now officially over, and you tell them, thanks but no thanks, give me a call if you change your mind, the whole spiel that we go through. And even if you didn't, that's okay. You just go into no contact and you stop talking to them, you stop contacting them. They don't matter in your life anymore, or perhaps a more effective way is to say that you're not going to give them any more mental real estate. They broke up with you. It hurts. We can mourn the relationship, but you're not going to go out of your way to speak with them because that shows need, and neediness is not attractive. And so you go into no contact. The second benefit is you're working on yourself and you're giving yourself space away from your ex, and that is going to help you remove some of the need from them. And so they're going to begin to think within the first couple of weeks, great, I have all my freedom, this is perfect. I can go out and do whatever I want, and I don't need to be held accountable to anybody. And we don't want them, during this time, to be thinking about how much they hurt us or how sad we are, because that is going to add a great amount of guilt onto them that they already have. So they're feeling guilty, they broke up with you, they know it was hard to do, and they know that they did something to break your heart. But it's important not to make the guilt that they already feel grow, because during this time, we need them to wonder about us, not know exactly where they stand with us. So a lot of things that I see from my clients directly after a breakup, when they haven't followed my advice and went into no contact, is they'll try and get their ex back by guilting them. But guilt is not attractive, and guilt doesn't pull somebody back to you. Remember, during this time, we want your ex to associate you with fun, with lighthearted, with drama-free. In fact, we want them to associate you with these things all the time, even when the relationship is fine. And so the first couple of weeks, they're not really thinking about you. Other than that little bit of guilt that we talked about, they're out, they're doing fun things. This big weight is finally lifted off their shoulders because, in reality, they've probably been thinking about breaking up with you for the past couple of weeks, and that they finally did it. In some cases, it's even been months. And so some time goes by, they have a couple of parties, they go meet a couple of new people, they go out to a couple of clubs, or depending on whoever they are, it's any variation of this. It could be a bookstore, it could be them just going home and being with themselves and realizing that they're not accountable to anyone else, and that's a good feeling for them. So, as we talked about, a couple of weeks will go by, and then eventually they'll begin to wonder, a harmless curiosity. Haven't really heard from them, kind of surprised. And they'll casually go onto Facebook, Snapchat, social media in general, and check to see what you're up to. Keep a tab on you. Have a friend check in on you. And they'll see nothing. If you've been following my advice, one of two things is happening. If it's early in the breakup, you should be doing nothing on your social media. You have disappeared. You're gone. You're not posting anything good or bad. Especially not bad, though. And if it's later in the breakup, you're posting yourself out doing fun things, smiling, being happy. These things are designed to do two things here. The first of which is confuse the hell out of your ex. Your ex, remember, is feeling a bit of a power trip right now. They think and feel as if they are more valuable than you. Perhaps it's not even a conscious thought, but what they're thinking is, I'd rather be without this person than be with them. That's kind of the underlying thought here. And the next thing it's going to do is it's going to have you being out doing fun things, meeting new people, smiling, going to new events, realizing that you don't have to sit home and think about your ex while you're on the couch eating a tub of ice cream all day. You can get up, go out, do new things, because your ex is either going to come back or they're not going to come back. Those are the two options, right? So would you rather have your ex come back and you've made new friends and you're happy and you're smiling? Or your ex not come back and you've made new friends and you're happy and you're smiling? Because the other option sucks. Having your ex not come back and you've made no friends and your life has not improved in any way, shape, or form. And so that's what I really implore you guys to do. Get up, go out, make new friends. During this time, your ex is thinking, why haven't I heard from them? Why don't I see anything on social media? Or if you're posting a lot and fun things, they'll be saying to themselves, well, who are these people? Why isn't my ex home on the couch crying and thinking about me? Was there somebody else in the picture the whole time? Was my ex cheating on me? You begin actually turning the tables on them, and it's quite miraculous to see, because what's happening is that their validation is being put into question. They don't feel as strongly that validation that they felt when they walked away from you and you begged and you pleaded. At that point, you were convincing them that they were fantastic, they were a celebrity, and they began to believe it. And so they walked away and thought, well, I can do better. Or they walked away because the relationship wasn't working for them in some way, shape, or form. But the point is, they were getting a certain brand of validation, and now that's disappeared. Now you're not talking to them, you're not begging, you're not pleading. In fact, you're not trying to get them back at all. It begins to mess with them, but not in a mind game sort of way. They begin thinking, well, wait a minute. Maybe I was quick to judge. Maybe I didn't sit and view the entire picture here. And so they begin asking around, mutual friends. They begin mildly stalking your Facebook, your social media, your Snapchat, whatever. And during this time, their separation anxiety begins to start. They begin to see your value more and more. You're going out and they're beginning to see social proof. You're out hanging with new people. You look happy. Everybody around you looks happy. And that must mean that you equal a good time. Remember, we want them to associate you with fun and with charming and lighthearted. And so once we begin to live this and we begin to feel this, it's not an act. It's real. Some more time will go on and you still haven't reached out and they're still wondering what's going on. It's probably 3 or 4 months by this point, but please don't get married to these numbers because every situation is very different and every reason for every breakup is very different. So I'm just using these numbers as a typical, not every situation will go by these numbers. So they'll begin to find reasons to reach out. Hey, happy birthday. I haven't talked to you in a while. How's life? Or, hey, did I leave my sweater at your house that one time 6 years ago? Yeah, because right now they really need that sweater, right? They've been fine with it for the past 6 years, but now they need it. So the point is they'll find a reason to get into your orbit. And this is what I always refer to in my videos. Strike when the iron is hot. When they've reached out, when you can see that they're a little more interested, when their attraction has risen because you've walked away, stated your purpose, and you meant it, this is when you strike. Now, during this time, you need to play it cool. You don't suddenly toss 1,000 I love you, I miss yous at them. We don't want that right now. Remember, while they have reached out because their attraction is beginning to grow, they're still unsure. They're going through 1,000 different emotions right now, and they're unsure as to how this is going to play out. And so you need to prove to them, and frankly prove to yourself, that you've been improving. So many people say, let an ex be an ex. Don't go back to an ex. Corey Wayne says, don't heat up leftovers. And the idea is, because what's the likelihood that both people went, worked on themselves, improved, and the original reason for the breakup no longer exists, or is much, much, much less? The likelihood is pretty bad. That's why here on the Love Chat, we speak about self-improvement. We speak about focusing on yourself so that this can fade, so that this is no longer a factor. And so if you've been working on yourself, and if you can tell your ex has been working on themselves, strike when the iron is hot. But if you continue to throw 1,000 I love yous, I missed yous, I'm sorry for all the mistakes I made, I'm sorry for this, I'm sorry for that, apologizing, it's good to own up to your mistakes, but it's not good for attraction to constantly apologize. It takes 2 to form a relationship, and it takes 2 to break up one. I have an assignment for everybody this week. I want you all to begin journaling your thought process during this time. You're going through a breakup, and frankly, journaling does help because it's a different medium to get your thoughts down. But write down what you're going through. Write down all the things that you've noticed, and especially write down what you've learned about yourself. You can put them in the comments section below, or you can write them in your own personal journal. That's all I had for today. If you found my video helpful, I'd be very grateful if you'd subscribe and hit like. Please leave a comment below. Tell me what topics you want me to cover in the future. Also, if you'd like to do a Skype or email coaching, all of my services are currently discounted. Be sure to visit www.thelovechat.net/coaching. Until next time.